Hello, everybody. We are back, and this is our next episode of So Chatty, episode 127 for January the 5th, 2024, the first So Chatty of the new year. Hope everybody had a good new year. Did you miss us? We're home. More about that later. Okay, first of all, of course, you know we were in Georgia at Dahlonega. I said it. Which is where Stephanie Stitches' retreat was, and we had a wonderful time there. And you've probably saw some of the live videos that we and the other content creators like Stephanie, Shannon from Slay Arts, and Russ from Quilt Meets World all did while we were there. And if you haven't seen those, there's links in the show notes for them below. But in the meantime, what did we work on? Well, I took two projects, figuring I would probably not get to the second one. And I got a fair ways into this first project. And my first project is this, the Color Collage by Northcott. And I'd already had all the pieces pre-cut and everything, but I did make a little screw up, which I'm trying to unscrew now as we speak. And that had to do with the fact that I cut one of the corners wrong and I didn't have any more of that color. And yeah, but that's something I'll talk a little bit more on in more detail come the next Idiot Quilter episode. But yeah, that's what I was working on throughout it all the time. I did not expect to get, and I didn't have any expectations, put it this way, of what I was going to get done, because I knew there would be plenty of distractions, and there were, as you're going to find out a little bit later on. But what did Walter work on? Well, remember this? This was the African fabric pattern that Walter bought at Halifax, right?
Yeah.
From Mercat, and there's more to their name than that, but I can never say it. The Schwishwine or Schwishwine or something like that. Anyways, so Walter took that down. Yes, it is a quilt. Walter was not making a shirt, although you cut out.
I cut out a shirt, but I didn't get around to it. So
No. So, how far did you get on this, Walter?
well, I got all the squares made, and I got rows made, but I haven't sewn the rows together yet.
Okay, well, show us a row. He's a busy little boy.
Hang on.
There you go. That's one row. That
Yeah.
looks like the top row. No,
All of
that's
them are
long
the
row.
same.
Yeah, that's right. You go halfway down. After four rows, you repeat the rows, but they turn them upside down.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah,
it's not a hard pattern, but considering I don't usually quilt, it was kept me occupied.
we had a little problem with matching up some points, but we got over that.
I'll have to figure out how to match the points up when I sew the rows together.
And I got to help him with that. Stephanie was doing the same one, and she didn't need any help.
She didn't get as far, but she's like major speed.
Yeah,
Major
well,
speedy.
before she even started working on this one, she finished one other quilt top and the whole bit. And if you've seen her vlog this week, she shows you what that was as well. One of the Art East kits. But anyways, yep, that's what we were working on. So before we move on to some highlights from the retreat, highlights for us, announcements. Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen will be this Wednesday. We're resuming as we usually do the same procedure. So it'll be Wednesday. That was January the 10th, starting at 9 a.m. and running for pretty much the whole day. So come and join us. Think of it as a drop-in. If you have never tried one of ours before, one of our sew days, and you're free on the Wednesday, please join us. All are welcome. And I am having, this is for the gentlemen, I am having my third monthly men's sew day this Sunday, January the 7th, starting at 8 a.m. and running until about 3 p.m. So if you're a man and you sew or you quilt, you are more than welcome to join us. And the link for it is in the show notes below as well. So yeah, it's open to all men. Okay, sorry girls. And having said that, I am thinking of having a pop-up sew day in around January the 21st, which would be a Saturday. Just want to keep saying Sunday. I'm all screwed up on days of the week. That was since we've come back. It's like, Have to look at a calendar. Anyways, I'm thinking of it. I am not making that the official announcement. You will find out for sure in another week's time or thereabouts, whether I'm having one on the 21st of January. Right now, probably. Okay, and something new. This is an idea of, since there were 5 creators at the retreat, as I said, Stephanie, Shannon, Russ, Walter, and I, we decided to try something new. And it's called The Sewcial, Sewcial. Apparently, I was spelling it wrong before I dropped the C. So, The Sewcial, kind of the format of something like The View or other talk shows where people just sit around and talk about whatever. We're going to do that this coming Wednesday evening. So January the 10th at 7 p.m. And it will be alive. So you'll be able to participate in the chat. We are going to connect, if all goes well, because it's the first time I've done it this way. We will be connecting the 5 of us via Zoom, but it will be going into YouTube, and you'll be able to write comments or ask us questions. Actually, we're hoping you're going to ask lots of questions about whatever you want to ask. It'll run for maybe about an hour. And we're going to share our ideas and our thoughts and our plans for this coming year, both our personal and our business plans or our hobby plans, things like that. And if we go off on tangents, which we probably will, that's all part and parcel of it. It is unscripted. That's about as much as I've given as a guideline to everybody. Each month, a creator will pick a different theme and we'll do it on their channel. So this month, look for a notification for a live event at 7 p.m. Wednesday, January the 10th, next Wednesday, on my channel, on the Idiot Quilter. And we'll let you know who the next one is. Now, we're going to do this once a month, as I said, and we'll see how it works out. It's a little experiment, but we thought it might be kind of fun to try. So it's the Fab Five. We call ourselves the Fab Five. Okay, that's a weird noise. Did that come out of you?
What? I just moved in the chair.
Oh, yeah, sure you did. So what else is coming up? That's about all I can think of right now. So let's talk about the retreat. First of all, Walter, did you enjoy the retreat?
Yeah, actually, I did.
Yep, I did too. We had a lot of fun.
I mean, once we got there.
Yeah, once we got there, and we're going to talk
about that. It was a bit of
that.
a drive to get there, but once we got there, it was actually really good, and it was relaxing, and it was fun.
Yep.
And it was good.
The drive was not horrendous. We had good weather, pretty well good driving weather, no real precipitation of any form. No snow up here, and no snow in Georgia, which that was not a surprise. But it was a long drive because well,
it's probably a little longer than actually 15 hours because that doesn't include breaks, right?
No, that's true.
And yeah, it was. I hadn't driven anywhere since Halifax. I haven't driven anywhere for a really long, for lengthy segments, right? So, and actually, there is a different feeling when you cross the border at the United States and you start driving in the United States, even though roads are roads, but it's just different.
It's a different. I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on, but we know we're not in Canada anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not in Kansas, so we were heading towards there. But
so at first going down, I wasn't. I was driving slower than I normally would drive in Canada, and just because I was a little uncomfortable on the roads, and the speed limits were higher than what I'm used to in Canada, except for on the main roads.
They were?
Yeah, I know. If I drive down a regular highway road here, it's a big wide lane highway, right? Like has many lanes to it. And a lot of the times it was only like a two lane highway going one way. And I'm used on those smaller highways that we are here in Canada. The speed limit is 50 miles an hour, and there it was 70 miles an hour. So I didn't feel as
Yeah, I
comfortable
guess. Okay.
going.
Well, it's also kind of weird because, well, we knew this, but everything's in miles, not in kilometers, and we're so used to kilometers. And it seems like it takes longer to go a mile than it does a kilometer.
Well,
Well,
it
yes, it
does.
would, but because it's 1.6 kilometers to a mile. But
Yeah, I mean,
it's
in
psychological.
your head, I get if I'm driving 300 kilometers in my head, I already know what 300 kilometers is. But that's actually around a little less than 200 miles, right? So 300 kilometers.
Yeah.
300 kilometers, 320 kilometers is 200 miles.
But
So
when you're looking at it on the GPS, it looks like it's clicking down quicker
yeah,
on kilometers than
it's
it does on
psychological.
a mile. And yeah, it all works out the same, but it's psychological. Speed too is when you see, well, when we first started on there, what was the speed on I-75? It was
It was 70.
70 miles per hour,
Yeah, so and I'm used to driving
110 kilometers per hour,
well,
which is
100.
70.
Yeah,
Yeah. See, it might be more.
it's 60. 100 is
What?
60.
100 is okay.
110 is not quite
Okay.
70.
Well, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, it's a little slower. Not that anybody was taking it that slow though, because we were being passed many, many times on it. So yeah, they probably saw the Ontario license plate and wanted to get
Well,
away
anyway, so
quickly.
I tended to be a little bit more pokey at first. On the way back, I got used to it and I wasn't so pokey. So,
Yeah, like so less pokey that we missed the turnoff on the way back from
oh yeah.
Lexington and had
Well,
and went about an hour
we
out of our
were
way. Hmm. Well, he's gonna blame it on me.
we were talking. I thought I was going the right way until I realized, uh-oh, the GPS keeps trying to turn me off somewhere
Yeah.
else.
But anyways, yeah. But there is a little different feel, but I think it's because once you cross the border, you're not in Canada anymore. It's the States. Not that big a
It is
difference,
a
but
different feel.
it's just different feel. But again, I think all of that is psychological. But the trip down, we stopped. We first day we left on Christmas Day. We stopped in Windsor, which is at the border, and we spent the night there in a lovely place. Well,
Actually, it
it
was
was
fine.
okay, but
It
yeah,
was fine.
it was all right. But whatever. Very close to the bridge that goes across to the American side, and then the next day we were up and out and across. We had a bit of a delay, not that much. I think it was about 12, 15 minutes before we got up to the guy who wanted to strip search us before we went into the country. Actually, he looked like he was giving everybody else a really hard time that was ahead of him. That's why it was taking so long because we picked this one line, and of course, all the other lines seemed to be moving faster than us. So we figured, okay, this guy's going to be really scrutinizing. And I said to Walter, "What are you going to say when he asks you where you're going?" And he asks you for the reason is, what are you going to say? And he says, "I'll just tell him where it's a retreat." And I said, "Well, a retreat could be anything. I mean, I think you need to specify it." But Walter, true to form, told the guy, says, "And your reason for coming to the United States?" And Walter said, "A retreat." And the guy went, "What kind of retreat?" And Walter said, "Quilt." But the way he said it and the way the guy heard it, he thought he said wilt. A wilt retreat. What's a wilting retreat? He said, "No, no, quilt, as in sewing."
And then I said a sewing retreat. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he asked us to roll down the back window, and we had everything in the pack there, but just looked and he said, "Okay, enjoy your time. Bye." I think we were only with the guy for a minute, if it was that. So off we went. So our next stop was Lexington, Kentucky. We stayed at the Holiday Inn there. Went out and had dinner at. We met Stephanie first of all. We met up with Stephanie. At that point, we had planned that in our original plans, and we all like Indian food, so we went off to an Indian restaurant. Yeah, it was okay. It just lacked flavor. Just really lacked a lot of flavor.
Well, it was a different kind of Indian food than we've had before. So
Yeah, it was very
wasn't very. I mean,
it wasn't
although
very
the people
authentic.
that worked there were East Indian,
Yeah.
the food wasn't really
Yeah.
what we're used to when we go to an East Indian
If you
restaurant.
blindfolded me and asked me what it tasted like, I'd have to say nothing.
Yeah, like
Very little spice to it.
and not
Just no
even
flavor.
flavorful
No.
spice. So
But anyways, it was fine. Not what we've had before in other places. But anyways, that's the luck
well,
of
the
the
other thing
draw.
is they sort of like North Americanized it
Hmm.
because the chicken dish we had was all white meat,
Yeah.
and we're used to Indian food having dark meat in it. So
And it was pink. And I don't mean
yeah,
the
the
chicken was pink. The sauce was pink. It was
the
a,
sauce was a very nuclear orange.
I thought it was more pink.
I thought it was a orangey pink. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It was not the color I've seen before, and that was tikka masala. So usually tikka masala is a little bit orangey red. This
Yeah.
was more fuchsia. But
Yeah.
anything pretty, but no real flavor to it at all. So anyways, next day we got up and off we all went to Dahlonega. And now Stephanie said she wanted to get a good early start because, well, it was a 5-hour drive from
Yeah.
Lexington. And she says because when it gets dark, she says I really don't want to be driving on those windy roads around the mountain. Now we got there and we were on this road, and yeah, it was a little windy, but not all that bad. I mean, I still wouldn't want to drive it because it's just because we
Mhm.
don't know where we're going. I wouldn't want to drive that at night either, but it wasn't that bad. But then we discovered on the way home we went a different route than what Stephanie took. The route Stephanie took was US 19, and yes, it's very windy.
It's fun to
So
drive.
it's not fun to sit in the seat and watch him drive. I was air braking all the way. Uh, what's that? Oh, look, hairpin turn. Not a big problem. Let's do it on two wheels, shall we? Everybody lean. Yeah, he's getting a little too comfortable with the roads in the States, I guess. But anyways, so we got there, and this place is a little like the lodge, the retreat lodge. It's kind of in the middle of a forested mountainous area. It's somewhat isolated. Um, like you don't see anybody around it at all. And you travel down this very narrow little road to get into it. And in fact, it's so narrow that if anybody was coming the other way, I don't know what you would do because there isn't any real place to turn out to let them pass or anything like that. But luckily, that never happened. So, but it's beautiful. And as you'll see in the pictures and in the clips that I'll put in here as well, is beautiful. But okay, so we've arrived on the first third of our journey to Georgia. We are in lovely Windsor in the, what's this place called? Hampton Court?
Hampton Inn.
Hampton Inn. Which it's okay.
All right.
It's all right. No frills, no thrills. And a couch that's made of cardboard because bounce on it, Walter. There's no bounce. It's like you're sitting on a big piece of
Plus it leans back. It's obviously a sofa bed, but
yeah. So Walter's obsessing over his car when we came in. So we parked where we can sort of see it when they steal it, right down there. And you can see there's all kinds of snow. Not. And in fact, the high today went to what, 10?
yeah.
Over here. That's
10
10 Celsius, which is about 50 Fahrenheit. There is a Tim Hortons across the street, but we brought a lovely Christmas dinner with us, consisting of a sandwich, or sandwiches that Walter made, some of his famous cheese cookies, and my favorite candy, Fruitfuls. And White Christmas is playing on the TV at the moment. And yeah, it's just so exciting. I can hardly contain myself. We did bring our sewing machines into the room with us. So if they take the car, they don't get our machines. Of course, then there's no way we get our machines anywhere. But, well, we can always set up camp here and sew with it. But, yeah. So we're not far from the Ambassador Bridge, the bridge that goes to the United States. What is that? It's just down the road that way?
It's down the road that way, and there we can sort of see the new bridge that they're building over there.
The Gordy Oh,
Yeah.
where?
See, straight across.
Oh, yeah. There, see in the distance there's some towers. That's the new international bridge that they're building at the moment here. So, yeah. So far it's going to be a thrilling evening, Christmas Day evening. of us probably staring at the TV set and eating a sandwich. And potato chips. We did get potato chips as well. Okay, so we're on the Ambassador Bridge right now, going to the American side, to customs on the American side. And there you can see that, I assume, is Detroit on that side. And yeah, so this is what the Ambassador Bridge looks like. We're entering the USA. So we just got up and Walter's in the shower right now, and so this is now Boxing Day here in Canada, and we will in another couple of hours be making our way to the Canadian-American border and crossing over and traveling down to Lexington. We did not put in a really good night. I didn't sleep well. Neither one of us did. I woke up around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and that was pretty much it. I didn't get much more sleep, and Walter said the same, and I'm a little concerned about that since Walter is driving today, and the drive's about 5.5 hours to Lexington. But nevertheless, we carry on here. We're going to go down and have a little brekkie. It comes with the hotel room, and we forgot one item at home. Well, we didn't really forget it. I didn't get any, but that's to get some KD, some Kraft dinner, because Stephanie was talking about comparing Canadian Kraft dinner with American Kraft dinner because they are slightly different. So we wanted to take a couple of boxes to the retreat, maybe cook some of that up at lunchtime one day and do a little taste test comparison. So there's a Freshco, which is a grocery store just up the road from us here. So we'll drop in it on them. They open up at 9 and they're on our way to the border. So we'll go in, get some KD, and then carry on to the border. The weather right now, it's dark out while I'm doing this. It's a little after 7 o'clock. It's still dark. I imagine it's overcast, and I think the forecast said that there was a possibility of freezing rain, but more to the northern part of Ontario than down where we are. But they do say rain is coming. Quite a bit of rain, actually, across southern Ontario. But we won't be here when that hits, so let's hope that we hit good weather on our way to Lexington. Yeah, the drive yesterday was not too bad at all. Took us about 3.5 hours to get here. We were just taking it easy, and it's amazing how many cars there were really on the road. Everybody was traveling on Christmas Day. I guess I'm a little naive. I thought maybe that would be, just us on the road. And I'm telling you, some of those drivers were really hell-bent for election because they were going at the speed of sound. Maybe that's just the old man in me talking, but geez, in my day, yeah. But anyways, so we're going to get ourselves some breakfast. We're going to get ourselves cleaned up and repacked, and the car is still here. That's a good sign. And go down, have something to eat, and get on with the day. I'll check in with you later. Oh yes, and we cannot use our cell phones until we get, as far as making calls, until we get across the border, because we bought roaming cards so that we can use our phones in the States, because otherwise we could use our phones in the States, but it would cost us an arm and a leg through our provider on roaming. So this way we bought SIM cards that work in the States. They were very reasonably priced and got them all installed, and they will activate after we get over the border. So yeah, we'll see what happens from there. Okay, so it's the last part of our journey before we get to the retreat location. This is about a 5.5 hour drive from Lexington as we move into Georgia and to Dahlonega. I know, I just can't say it, never learn, sorry. Anyways, in the distance you can see the mountains. And okay, somebody from Kentucky, Pat, or somebody like that, you can probably tell me, is this what they refer to as the, wait, this isn't Kentucky. Yeah, this is still Kentucky. Yeah, okay. States. There's too many of them. It's easier to keep track of 10 provinces. But anyways, those are the mountains. And I guess we drive through them, whatever, according to what Stephanie has told us. Last night we were with Stephanie, and we went out and had some Indian food. Actually, I haven't talked to Stephanie about it to see how she felt about the Indian food we had last night, but I didn't think it was very good. It was kind of tasteless.
And it was, I don't know, I didn't think it was very good quality.
No, I've never seen sauce on a tiki masala that color.
No.
It was a lovely fuchsia. Like, okay, fuchsia tikka masala. I mean, the stuff wasn't horrible. It just didn't have any taste and it didn't have any spice to it, really. Well, we did order it. We ordered it medium because, you know, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get. If you order it Indian hot or whatever, it might be a double burner, if you know what I mean by that term, and I'm not going to explain it. But, yeah, it wasn't that great, but it's okay. It's all right. So yeah, we're on our way now to the retreat. So we'll get there according to the GPS. We will arrive around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. With it, Stephanie has gone on sort of ahead of us. She suggested we follow her, but Walter doesn't like to do that because we're driving in a foreign country and things are slightly different here, and there's a lot the roads are busy, and yeah, you need to concentrate. So we said, no, we'll meet up with you when we get there. We can text and whatnot. And yeah, that'll be fine. So I think we're going to, when we get there, to go off to the Walmart to pick up a few essentials. You know, things like that. Plus look around and see, oh my God, you guys have this. Never seen this before in our Walmarts. And then we're at the retreat, sort of a thing. So stay tuned for more about our adventure. Okay, so we're now in Tennessee, and you can see the mountains here and the fog. Lots of fog through all of this. But we are climbing in elevation here as well, because my ears are starting to feel it. Not horribly, but enough that you realize you are going to a higher elevation. It's very, very picturesque along here, much more so than up in the northern states. And the roads here are very nice. They're very well maintained. When we came across at the border, and the roads from Detroit to, well,
I don't say that too quickly about the
roads. Yeah, maybe it's getting rough. Never mind. So we have now made our way to Georgia, and we're off the main interstate, and there's a series of old highways, roads, or things that take us through this very picturesque country that's here. We're definitely in areas we have never been before in our life. This is, you know, interesting. We went through several little towns and things and saw the natives. Saw one guy just standing at the side of the road, propping his chin up on a big stick, watching the cars go by, and he waved. So, well, everybody needs a hobby, right? And so, yeah, we are about an hour and 8 minutes away from
Dahlonega.
That's the name, Dahlonega. And yeah, and actually the weather's been very cooperative today. As you can see, there's blue sky up there, fluffy clouds.
Well, it started very foggy, but
yes, it was foggy through the Kentucky part of the mountains and the Appalachians. I guess it was the Appalachians or whatever. But yeah, this is very, very scenic. Definitely parts we have never seen before.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we have arrived at the retreat lodge. This is the entranceway to it. There it is. Coosa Mountain Lodge. And we're going to get a first reveal of what this place looks like. Is this it? I don't think this is it. I think you go down. What's Stephanie doing?
I don't know.
Just go.
Keep going.
Yeah. Well, it says you're there too. So keep going.
Boy.
Okay, we almost got lost. That's not the lodge. Whoa. This is tricky. Glad there's no snow. Whoa. Okay, this is a little roller coaster ride here. Don't get crazy. Whoa. Whee! Okay. We're 200 meters away from the lodge. And there it is. Coosa Mountain Lodge. Oh, it does look nice.
Arrived.
have arrived. And I'd say just pull it up there. We'll see. Okay, so this is it. This is Coosa Mountain Lodge where we're having the retreat. And there's Stephanie pulling in at the same time. Well, let's talk about that. I have put in, as we do this, I have clips that I'm going to stick in when I edit this a little bit. So right now you have just finished watching a clip on the trip down. I didn't take that much video of the trip down because it's boring. Ohio's one hell of a big state when you go from one end to the other.
From one to the other, yeah.
I didn't realize how big Ohio was, but it's big. It's big. Yeah, so the setting, as I said, very beautiful, very nice. I'd like to have that as my house, really. But it was built to be a retreat. And yeah, it's very, very nice. And I have some shots of that inside. So how did the whole retreat thing work? Well, we got there. Now, we were there a day before it started, or late in the afternoon. And we'd already made arrangements that we would just, Stephanie and the two of us, we were just going to, and Shannon came early too. We helped Stephanie set up and everything like that. And the lady allowed us to stay there. The lady who owns the retreat property allowed us to stay the night before the official opening. So we got things all together and ready. And let's see, what else can I tell you about okay, let's talk. We're going to talk about food in a minute. Just some more general things. So we had assigned rooms. Somebody had written in a comment to the video that I put up of our live from there. They want to know how many rooms there were, what the accommodation was like, and all this. Well, I have written back to that person that says, check with Stephanie. She has the details. But essentially, Walter and I had our own room with a bathroom. I think there were another couple of rooms that may have had 2 or 3 people in them with a shared bathroom with another room. And it's on actually 3 levels. The classroom is in sort of the basement. Then there's the main level, which has the kitchen, the living room, and the room that we stayed in. And then there's a 3rd level that sort of is like a loft-like area. It has a balcony that looks down over into the living room. And the rest of the bedrooms are, shouldn't put my thumb up. The rest of the bedrooms are up there. So yeah, I'm not sure how many people in total it can accommodate. There were 14 of us at this retreat. I think Stephanie said that it could accommodate 16 people.
Yeah, I think she said 16.
Yeah. And it's very comfortable. The rooms are not real tiny, but they're not huge, but they're adequate. Now, I'm not sure what all the rooms were like because we only saw our room, basically. We didn't want to invade people's privacy by walking into the rooms. Hello. But it's all very comfortable. There's a big, there's a big kitchen.
Not massive.
Not massive.
But a decent size.
Now, I thought Stephanie said there were 2 stoves, 2 ovens. But there was a big microwave. I don't know if that was a convection combination or not. But I only saw 1.
Yeah, unless there was one in that back room somewhere. There were barbecues.
There were barbecues, yeah. Nobody barbecued. Anyways, it was still okay. Now, I know that some of the ladies were complaining that the oven did not seem to get hot enough. It's a gas stove. I don't know. I didn't cook anything in the oven. We didn't cook anything at all, basically. We went out. But there was a fridge. There's 2 fridges, one in the kitchen, and then there's off from the kitchen, there's sort of a laundry room facility with another fridge in there. And there's another fridge down in the basement in the classroom area as well. So lots of fridge space. And it's fully equipped. All like plates, flatware, cooking utensils, cooking pots and pans, all that kind of stuff is all there for you. And many of the ladies took advantage of that. They did cook. In fact, we had a lot of food, and we'll talk about that in a minute. It was really hot in there when we got into it, when we arrived, the heat was on like boil. And in fact, the first night was very hot, but Stephanie was able to adjust the heat. And the other nights, it was much more comfortable with that. So you certainly wouldn't freeze to death. There's a huge patio area out from the classroom at the back with a fire pit and chairs and everything. And then there's another really big deck area off the main living room too. So there's lots of space in there for moving about, if you want to have some quiet time or something. There was lots of that there as well. So like I said, it's a beautiful location. I've never been to a retreat
It has a
like
nice
that.
view of the mountains.
Oh yes, yeah, and I do have some pictures of
used
that.
a few pictures of sunsets, and that the sun will you can see the sun going down below the mountains in a distance, and it really does look nice.
Temperature wise, it ranged anywhere. I think one day I think we actually got to 10 degrees C, which is about 50 Fahrenheit, and I think it may have gone as low one night as -1, which would be about 30. But that was what we had. We had one little brief sort of wet snow rain, but it was more rain than snow, and it didn't last very long. Lasted only maybe half an hour or something like that. So the weather did cooperate. It wasn't always sunny. It was overcast quite a bit, but it was still fine. I guess it was warm enough for Russ to wear shorts and sandals because that's what he had on all the time we were there. But he says that's his basic garb, and he's from Atlanta, so I guess that's the way it is.
Yeah, there were times where the temperature really wasn't any different than it was in Canada.
Here.
So, but it did have a different feel down there. It felt more like it would be a fall day or a spring day here. Than even if the temperature was cold, there was a different feel to the way the weather was. The sun was also when it was shining. It was a stronger feel. You got more warmth from the sun than you do up in Canada when it's this time of year.
Yeah, but still, it wasn't like I didn't think of it as being shorts weather.
No, but lots of people here wear shorts all the time.
Well, that's true, but they're idiots. Whatever. So anyways, I'm going to insert right here a clip of the location of the retreat place itself that I have. So here it is, Coosa Mountain Lodge, and it is gorgeous. And look at the view out the window. We'll take a look out the window. Lovely deck, fire pit, and the mountains. Actually, look over this way so you can see through the window instead of through the screen. But it is quite lovely. Wonderful setting. I'll do more video later on. Okay, so this is the view outside from the deck. And if you look down here, there is a fire pit, which I think Stephanie said one night we'll probably do s'mores or something around the fire pit. But it's definitely out in the sticks, but quite the view. It's absolutely lovely. Everywhere you look, it's really nice. Oh my God, almost. Well, that just killed the view. Okay, as I said, I'll take more video later. And here's what it looks like outside at sunset. Just like you painted a picture of this. And then Walter's standing here. Well, we'll just have to erase him from the picture. And yeah, it's really beautiful. So it's Friday morning around 8 o'clock-ish out here at the Retreat Lodge, and I thought you might like to see what it looks like from the outside from this angle. It is brisk this morning. It is -1 C, so that's about 3 or 4 degrees Fahrenheit, I guess. Is it that cold, Walter?
It's -1 on my watch.
Yeah, but I mean, we're in Celsius, so it's Fahrenheit.
Yeah, no, it's -1 C.
Yeah.
It's -1 C in Oshawa, too.
Okay, so yeah.
Oh, no, well, actually, my other thing, Delonica says it's 0 on my phone, so.
Oh, geez, a whole degree warmer.
It's a whole degree warmer.
Yeah. It's a nice view, though. So, we are planning, by the time you see this, it'll already happen, we are planning to do 4 lives this weekend here from the retreat. We're going to do Russ's a Lebanese on Saturday morning, and Shannon's on Saturday. No, not Shannon's. Stephanie's at 5 p.m. Saturday, and then Shannon around 11 o'clock Sunday morning, and then Stephen and Walter live at 4. Now, how this will all work, well, you'll already know because we'll have already done it by the time you see this. So that's our plan today, of course, and some sewing as well. And I'm not getting as much done as I thought I would, but then again, as I told Walter, I wasn't planning anything that had to be done while I was here. I'm just doing it as it comes. And I've already made a stupid mistake, and I don't have enough fabric to fix that mistake, which figures, but I think I do at home. So it'll keep, but it's not going to hold me back. Okay, so let's carry on to food and snack table and restaurants and Walmart. Okay, food-wise, I said, a lot of people brought food with the idea that they were going to cook for the whole group, which was very, very nice of them. We had quite a variety. There was a big pot of chili. There was lasagna, both regular lasagna and vegetarian lasagna with a white sauce. Every morning we had brekkie. Stephanie provided that. Some of the ladies helped out to make it, which was nice. There wasn't any requirement for anybody to bring their own food or to cook or anything like that, but a lot of people just decided they would do that. We went out for lunches every day, the 5 of us, because we weren't really interested in cooking food. And I was surprised the number of ladies who were, because really I thought maybe they'd like a little holiday from doing that kind of stuff. But nope, they did it anyways. We did pick up a few things at the local Walmart as well. Brought some of it home because we never ate it at all. Put it out actually on the last day. It was kind of like, okay, leftovers, people. We had bought some cold sandwich meat and some salad stuff. And I think it was the last night of that we threw that together and had that and left out whatever's there for other ladies to have too. But you wouldn't have gone hungry no matter what. There was a snack table. Now, we've been to retreats before, and that's tradition. Basically, people bring some kind of a munchie and they throw it on a table, and it's common, you during the day you graze. There was a ton of grazing, of food actually. I don't think people were really eating it. I brought home some stuff. Other people brought home stuff that hadn't been opened yet or whatever. We took down a whole bunch of Canadian snacks that we figured you can't get in the States. We took down all dressed potato chips, ketchup potato chips, some Smarties, and not the kind of Smarties that Americans call Smarties. What Americans call Smarties that are in the little cylinder not foils.
The
little discs, little sweet candies. Those are Americans refer to as Smarties. We call those Rockets. We have them, but they're called Rockets. Our Smarties are more like M&Ms.
Yeah, they're like a larger M&M. They're and chocolate filled.
Yeah. So we brought some packages of those down. We brought some coffee crisp bars, which are basically a Canadian standard chocolate bar that's sort of mocha.
Yeah,
and chocolate wafers covered in with something else in them and covered in chocolate, and they taste like mocha.
I know Henry bars.
Oh, yes.
And mint arrow bars.
And mint arrow bars, too. Now, a few people tried some of those. There's a couple of people did try the potato chips, but most did not go for it.
Yeah, it seems like the American crowd weren't very adventuresome.
No.
To try anything that was a non-American brand. So.
No, and we'll talk more about that in a minute when we come to the KD challenge. But, yeah. But there was a ton. I mean, like I said, you wouldn't go hungry. For sure. Now, as I said, we went out to eat, and on the live this weekend, we're going to talk a little bit more about what we found different about American fast food in comparison to Canadian fast food. So I'm not going to say much about that right now, but we did go out every day for lunch, and oh my goodness, Americans have a wide variety of fast food places that feature chicken.
Well, at least in Georgia.
In Georgia. I guess that's chicken capital. I don't know. But we'll talk more about that too on the live. So be sure to tune in on Sunday for that. Of course, we bought a lot of our food at the Walmart that they had there because, they have a huge grocery area. And I think their grocery area in that Walmart is definitely bigger than the Walmart.
I don't know.
Do you
I
think it was?
I think it's about the same. I don't really think it's laid out a little differently.
One thing we found, though, that the prices on the food were higher than what we're used to paying in Canada. And we have high food prices.
Yeah, like I noticed the regular staple stuff that we normally get were the same price in American dollars or more.
Yeah, as in Canadian dollars.
Canadian dollars.
So that was a bit of an eye-opener there as well. Now, of course, the selection-wise, I expected that there was going to be more selection because in the past we have found that. But this time, there wasn't anything that was really stood out with the exception of spray cheese. And I got some spray cheese. We'll talk more about the spray cheese on Sunday. I'm going to show it because we'll be having hors d'oeuvres during the live made with spray cheese. So yeah, I mentioned KD, Kraft dinner. Now both of our countries have Kraft dinner. It's a staple, right?
Yeah.
And I think Americans call it
macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese, but
Kraft
macaroni and cheese. We call it KD. The boxes look very similar, but there are some differences. And so what we did was we had a little cook-off challenge. Stephanie cooked the American Kraft dinner, and Walter cooked the Canadian. And they followed the box directions pretty closely. I want to slip in our secret ingredient.
Yeah, but Stephanie cheated because she cooked the pasta half the time that I cooked the pasta. I cooked it based on box directions, and she decided that that's not the way she cooks it.
She likes it al dente, and Walter likes it mush.
No, I like it the way it was on the box. I don't like it mush, but I like it softer.
But anyway, so they both cooked that, and we didn't let anybody see who was cooking what. And then we called up a couple of volunteers from down the basement. They were all told they had to stay downstairs while we were cooking this. We didn't want them to see who was cooking what. Had the two pots out, no identification marks, just pot one, pot two. And we had a couple of people come up and taste both of them and say which one they thought was the American version, which one was the Canadian version, and then which one they liked best. And we have a whole video about that. Actually, Stephanie does on her channel. I put a link to it in the show notes below so you can check it out. The end result was that I think there were a few other people did some tasting too. They seem to, except for one person, tend to like the American version better than the Canadian. So the Canadian one was okay. They thought it might be slightly creamier, but it had a slightly different taste. And yes, it does. Because the cheese mix that comes in both those boxes are slightly different. I don't know if it's because they use Canadian cheddar as opposed to American cheddar.
I did read on the boxes that there is a big difference in that there's less additives to the Canadian one than there is to the American one. There's like a lot of riboflavin and thiacin and all this other stuff and a lot more longer words. In there. I don't know if the Canadian one has that or not, but it didn't have it on the box.
Well, riboflavin and the other one, aren't those considered like vitamins?
I don't know. They had a lot more of that stuff on the American box.
Because we have, like, I remember, I don't know if it's true now.
I know that a few years ago, Kraft announced that they were going to change the formula for the Canadian cheese mix to more natural products that are, but I mean it's still powdered cheese. So
yeah, it's still in a box. It's processed.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know. Now I have to say I tried the American one as well, and it isn't that major a difference.
I did for me, but see, I'm Canadian. I'm used to Canadian one. I thought it was less cheesy.
What, the Canadian one or the American one?
The American one. But
yeah, I thought it was less cheesy. Color was different too.
Yeah, the color ours is more of a Orange color.
Orange color. The American one was a little bit faded in
Yeah.
its orange. So I don't know. I guess it's whatever you're used to, but
Yeah.
the Americans, but that's something we're going to talk about a little bit more about.
See, I have always thought that our Canadian one is a little bit bland tasting. But then when I compared it to the American one, I thought the American one was more bland.
I don't know. The verdict is still out. If between the two, I like our version better.
But
But
that's
again, it
okay.
might be because I'm
but-
used to it.
But see, it's also, I think, because Canadian tastes are a little different
Yes.
than American. And Americans seem to think theirs is better. So
Yeah. Well, everything in the States is better, isn't it? Yes. We're going to talk more about the food on the live this week, and we're going to talk about why we think there are differences, like between our two countries when it comes to food, and quite a few different differences actually, which is why some American restaurants don't make it in Canada. They needed the research, but that's on the live. So if you want to get involved in that conversation, join us on the live on Sunday. Okay, so there were gifts. All right. I think pretty much everybody, well, I don't know if everybody did, but most people seemed to bring some little things along to give to everybody that was at the retreat. And there were some interesting little things there. It was fun. It was like Christmas morning kind of a thing, opening up what other people brought and gave to each of us. Of course, you know what I gave everybody because I'd been working on it since last January. And just as a aside, we are going back next year, and I've already started planning what I'm taking next year as far as gifts are concerned. But anyways, there was lots of things like that. But of course, we took down some special gifts as well for the creators, the YouTube creators. Took some things down for Stephanie, some things down for Russ, and some things down for Shannon as well. And Stephanie gave us a really nice gift, and I have a picture of what she gave us. And this is it. This is those diamond dots, and it's the three of us. You can see Stephanie's in there. You see the blonde hair on the lady gnome. I think I'm Santa in that one, although Walter's the bigger one of the two of us, in more ways than one. But he always accuses me with my beard of looking like Santa, and then Walter in the middle. Actually, the gnome in the middle looks a little evil. So yeah, it would be a good one for you. Yeah, but really nice. And she had it all framed and everything. So I now have it in my sewing room in a prominent spot. And you'll notice it when you come on a Stephanie and Stephen live or sew day, because it'll be right in the shot when I'm working out my sewing machine. So this was really, really nice. She also gave us, she gave me this fabric. She ordered it for me because it had gnomes on it, and she knew this was fabric that I wanted, so she got me some of that. And the quilt binding spool, which she has demonstrated on her channel before, and this really cute little Christmas ornament with more gnomes on it, of course. Naughty, and I gnome it. I thought that was fun. And she gave Walter some different things too, because he taught. What do you?
yeah, well, she gave me some supplies for. I don't have it with me. Supplies for foundation paper piecing, because she knows that I wanted to give that a try. So
yeah, she had sort of a little beginner's kit all set up for Walter with the essentials for foundation paper piecing. So that was really nice, as well. So yeah, lots of little gifties. All of them appreciate it. Not necessary, but appreciate it. And I think that's something that people, when they go to these retreats, do. I know in the retreats we've been in the past, that wasn't a big thing. There may have been one or two ladies who passed out some little, like a pincushion or something like that. But this one, there was a lot more of that. I think I came home with more than I got rid of, which I needed the space in the car. I was hoping to have it. But anyways, that's kind of fun. Now, I did get another gift delivered to me, but it was not by someone who was at the retreat. And there's a story that goes with this. Now, you know that I have said in the past that I have thought about getting some of those slide lock rulers that are made by Fallon and her husband, Matt, from So Be It Quilts. And they're pricey when you put them in Canadian dollars, and the shipping makes them even more expensive. So I've held off. Well, Stephanie presented me with a sealed box that had an address label on it that was addressed to her. And guess what was inside that box? Yep. 2 of the slide lock rulers, the 2 different sizes of them. Now, these weren't from Stephanie. Stephanie was the delivery person. These were from one of our regular subscribers, which she wants to be anonymous. So I'm not going to say her name, but in fact, Stephanie wasn't going to give me her name because she wanted to be anonymous. And I says, no, you have to tell me who it is, because these things are pricey. And I really want to make sure I show my appreciation and the thoughtfulness in this gift from this person. So she told me who it was, and I have since written her a very nice thank you note because I really appreciate it. And then she wrote back to me and told me the story about these rulers, and I'm going to read it to you. She says, I heard you back in July or so in one of your YouTube videos that you would like to have these rulers, but the expense to Canada is a lot. I had these original rulers from years ago collecting dust because I did not use them, so I thought I would gift them to you. Well, it started its journey to you by being mailed to another YouTube creator who is possibly going to see you personally. That did not pan out. So then it was mailed to you months later, but something got goofed up and returned to them. Now getting near December, so getting near December, so it was sent to Stephanie to deliver to you. That package is well traveled and hopefully held up well. Glad you have finally received them, and I hope you can use and enjoy them. Yes, for sure. So it took 6 months for these things to get to me. It started out last July. Plans got changed. Then they were mailed, and that didn't work out for some reason. And then Stephanie ended up with them and brought them down to the retreat. So, yeah, little history of these rulers. And I've already tried them out. They do work well, very well, because they grip your fabric. It will not slide. You have to use your cutting mat markings in order to cut with them, as you can see, because there isn't any markings on these rulers, which would be very difficult. I've heard some people say and tell Fallon and her husband, who manufacture them, it'd be nice to have markings on them. Matt's trying to come up with an idea for that, but it's very difficult when the handle is in the dead center. But the handle has to be there as part of the way it grips. If you don't know what these work like, go to So Be It Quilts and check out, they have videos on there of the slide lock rulers, and you'll see how they all function. So that was very nice of this person. Total surprise. Didn't have a clue on that one. So thank you so much.
You brought it up there, but did you actually show it?
Oh, shoot. This is what I'm talking about, people. Sorry about that. Yep, those are the rulers. Yeah, I'm blabbing on about them. Forgot to hit the button. Okay, so there they are. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with them as well. Okay, so did I talk to other people there and do some video of what they were creating? I certainly did. I went to everybody. I created a very short video, which I'll insert right here in a moment for you, but to see what everybody was making. And there was a wide variety of projects, and people were busy all the time with that. So that will be that clip I'll put in there right now. Okay, so it's the morning of our second day here. Walter's taking pictures of the room, but here it is. This is the part where we all do our sewing and everything like that. You can see it's a really nice sized room, but wait, there's more. There's a whole room in here. Say hello, Bev.
Hi.
That's Bev.
Hi.
Bev's from Florida. And she's an early riser. She's getting to work. But here's our setup for all of this. And Walter just walked in front of my camera. And yeah, so, see, facilities here are great. There's a little kitchen down here as well. And of course we have our snack table, which I have a feeling this is not going down low. It just keeps getting more things added to it. So.
Well, for my place, but there. Right.
Okay, so we have Bev, and
Hello.
Bev is here, and Bev is making a beautiful quilt, and you got the top done, you say?
top is all done, ready to go on the long arm. And it's folded inside out, of course.
Well, that's the best way to protect it. Oh, look at that. And that is a beauty in green.
It is called Runway Strut
Runway Strut. Okay.
by Robin Pickens.
Oh, I've done one of her patterns before. Whoa. Oh, that's gorgeous. That's big, too.
Twin.
It's a twin size.
Twin.
Twin?
Yeah.
Well, that's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
Okay. Yes.
And let's go over and see what Shelly's been doing. So, Shelly, what have you been making?
I'm working on a scrap quilt, and I'm making 40 of these.
Ooh, 40 of those. Those are pretty.
And the opposite will be a 16 patch, alternating
Across.
back and forth.
That's
Haven't
nice.
started those yet.
Are you making this from your own design, or is this a pattern?
It's sort of a deconstructed from a picture I saw.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's nice. It's going to look lovely when it's done.
It looked like it would work with my AccuQuilt to cut out that piece.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's great. Thanks, Shirley. Or Shirley. Thanks, Shelly.
Shelly and Shelly.
Shelly and Shelly. And we've got Denise in the back corner.
Oh, I
What are
was
you
looking
working on?
something up in my book. Well, I am working on a kit,
Do what you just do. You have a
which
separate
will
box.
eventually be this.
Ah, that's nice.
So I have the panel pieces cut, and I'm working on 10 million little Hesper triangles that are now becoming, they'll eventually be the bear claw blocks.
Oh, yes.
And that's a gift for a little guy, if I ever get it done.
So that's a Riley Blake pattern, I see.
This is a Riley Blake kit that I think I purchased from Stephanie's shop.
Oh, okay. And
So-
that one is called that Camp
Camp Woodland.
Woodland. Okay, that's really nice. That's going to be gorgeous when it's done.
If it's ever done, it will
Oh, it'll
be
be done.
gorgeous.
You'll get it done. Like tomorrow. You'll get it done tomorrow.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay. And this Shelly. What are you working on?
I am working on a legit kit,
Oh, that'll be nice.
and it's one of a series that they're going to be doing.
Oh, yes.
And so I have, these are the pieces that you work with.
Right.
And then these are some of them that I've completed so far.
Whoa.
And then I have to sew these together.
So is this the first time you've done a legit kit?
This is the first time I've done a legit
You're
kit.
doing well.
Yes,
'Cause
so-
they intimidate me. Yeah, they
It
intimidate me.
intimidated me, but I'm slowly getting it now.
I suppose once you get going,
Yes.
you get the trick.
Yes.
Well, that's great. Thank you, Shelly.
Thank you.
In this corner, we have Marla, and we have Terry over here. But let's go with Marla first. So, Marla, what are you working on?
Lisa Bonjean mini quilt.
Oh, I've never attempted one because I don't think I could handle all the little pieces. That's to be admired. So, have you done mini quilts before?
Yes, many.
And you, well, mini or mini?
I've done
Many,
many.
many? Oh my God! So, what is it about a mini quilt that attracts you?
I just like them on the wall.
Oh, okay. So the good
Display,
Yep.
artwork.
Well, she got a really tiny bed.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be really nice when you get that done. And over here, and thank you for that. And over here we have Terry. And Terry, what are you working on?
Well, I just finished my quilt over there, and I've just started, it's called Leather Rip. It's Beth's quilt from Yellowstone.
Oh, okay. That's going to look nice too. And those are your colors. Those are nice.
Thank you.
They're very rich colors. Give it a classy,
Black, yeah.
classy look. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that too. Now, this is, of course, we know Shannon, but Shannon's going to be showing you later what she's working on when we go to a live. So, goodbye, Shannon. We'll see you later. Here we have. Oh God, I'm having a mental fart.
Sarah
That's Sarah. Yes.
from Indianapolis.
From Indianapolis. And what are you working on, Sarah?
I am working on the Threadology sampler from Pat Quarter Shop from 2019 Make-A-Wish free pattern
Yeah.
using Sherry and Chelsea Seashore Drive fabric.
Wow. That's going to be gorgeous when you get it done.
Yes.
Is it a little fiddly?
This one is. The trimming on this
Yeah.
one is anxiety inducing.
I was going to say that's kind of an unusual block, like in shape,
Yeah.
like this.
Well, the big version, all I had to do was just trim along the white, and it was the perfect size. It
Right.
squared up super easy, but this one trims down so weirdly that it's just kind of freaking me out a little bit.
Well, good luck with that. Okay, thanks, Sarah.
I'll just be over here quietly freaking out.
Okay. This is Johanna. And Johanna, I know because we're both on the Quilter's Way as well, but this is the first time we got to meet in person in real time. And this is the infamous double wedding ring quilt that you've been working on this a long time, haven't you?
2 years.
Oh, God. And how close are you to being done?
I think I can get it done in the next couple of months.
Okay, that's good.
I'm close. I'm very close.
And you said who this was going to.
My grandson and his wife.
Okay. Is it
They
a
were
wedding
married
gift?
2 years
Oh.
in October. That's why I know I've been working on it for 2 years.
It is beautiful.
Thank you.
And yeah, I don't think I'm up for that. But anyways, okay. Thanks, Joanna. So this is Catherine. And Catherine, what are you working on?
I am working on granny squares, which I actually have several completed right there.
Oh, that's a really cool pattern.
It's Tilda fabric, and it's been fun.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
7 of 30 done.
Okay, you got a lot of work to
Yes,
go.
I do.
Well, thanks for sharing it. And did we go to a quilt store? Oh, yes, we did. The Common Thread. And I have some pictures of what we bought. Okay.
Are you going to show them?
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
I have a feeling you've been doing this all along, and I just noticed it now.
No, I think I was okay on the quilts at the beginning. With the other things are just movie clips. So those will
No. I meant when you were showing stuff about the fabric that Stephanie gave you and stuff like that.
Did you guys see that? Just in case you didn't, this is what I was talking about, this gnomes, the diamond dot thing. Okay. And this was the fabric and the other little things that Stephanie gave to me. I don't have a picture of what she gave to Walter, but you already heard that description. Just in case I didn't show that. Okay. So let's go to the fabric from the Common Thread. The Common Thread is a really nice quilt store. Lots and lots of selection, right?
Yes, quite a bit, yeah.
And they sell sewing machines, Janome sewing machines as well. But I bought, well, okay. I bought more than just this. I bought these 2 bundles of fabric, and then I bought all of this as well. And those are all pretty much 2-yard cuts. Some of them are a little longer than that because I finished off the bolt in some cases. I'm going to talk about these fabrics more extensively on the Idiot Quilter next week and talk about who made them, who designed them, and all that kind of stuff then. But what you're seeing between the first picture and this, plus I bought a Quilter Select rotary cutter and some blades for it. This was $600 and some odd American, which worked out to $935 Canadian. I think those ladies were very happy to have the store open because they were actually closed during the Christmas holidays, but they opened up specially for us. Oh, and that final price I gave you, that's after I got a 25% discount. They gave us 25% off everything in the store as well, which is very generous. And a lot of people bought a lot of stuff, so I think we made their mortgage payment or their rent payment on the building for the month, possibly their employee salaries as well. But it was a really nice store. And it was right next door to a Dollar General. And I've heard of Dollar General, but we've never been. So we now can say we've been to Dollar General. Again, on the live. More details about that. Do you get the feeling we're going to talk more about this on the live? We are. But little different things. So what did you buy?
I bought five 3-yard cuts.
Okay, good. Hit the computer.
5 3-yard cuts. So I got this fabric I thought was really nice.
I'll look gorgeous in it.
Yeah. And then I bought 2 fabric with different colorways. Different colorways. I debated because the colors are pretty close to each other. But I thought it was there. I like it. And I thought, well, I'll get both of them anyway. So it's these two.
And isn't that from the
This is
poured
from
line?
the poured color, the poured line.
Yeah.
Yeah. From Benertex, yeah. And this one is actually a Northcott fabric. This one is actually a Northcott fabric. It's called Wild Night by Stephanie Brandenburg, and it's a Northcott one. So it's almost like that, wispy, that painting.
Like Starry Night.
Starry Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Van Gogh.
And then, oops.
You're in trouble.
Then, is this yours? I think this is yours.
Is that mine?
I didn't have this one.
Oh, it's mine. It's Dan Moore.
Oops.
That's my fabric. Give that back to me.
And then I bought this one, and it's a Benertex. It's from part of their line, their Prismatics line on Benertex.
That make a cool shirt.
And
too.
this is also from the Prismatics line on Benertex. And I thought that was kind of cool too.
Yeah, that'll be a better shirt for you.
I found Benertex is a line that we tend not to be. They do have them here in select areas, but a lot of Canadian stores don't seem to carry the Benertex line, so it's a little harder to find.
You might get it online, but
Yeah.
not in actual quilt stores. You may not find it. It depends.
And also the poured one that I got, I'm not sure who. That's the Benertex as well, from poured, and it is what's it? Poured color by Paula Nadelstern for Benertex. And that's this stuff. And like I said, Benertex is a little bit more difficult to find than in Canada than in the US. So.
Yeah. So I do have a little video of the quilt shop, the interior, and I'm going to insert that in here. Okay, we have arrived at the quilt store. This is the Common Thread, and apparently this is a fairly new version of their store. They moved locations. We're going to go in there in a minute, but more importantly, we're about to go over, there's Russ, we're going over to the Dollar General down here. I've heard about it. I've seen videos about it, Dollar General, but now I get to do the Dollar General experience. I'm so excited. So, we're back here waiting to get in, but beforehand, we of course went to the Dollar General, and everybody bought something. Shannon, what did you buy at Dollar General?
I can't tell. It's a surprise.
Oh, it's a surprise. I think it's underwear. Russ, what did you buy?
I bought a sticker for my machine.
Oh my God, excitement. And Stephanie got chocolate Pop-Tarts.
And I got some coffee, and I tried on a bra.
Yes, yes, and we realized that that wasn't going to work, even for $11. And Walter, what did you buy? Nothing.
Nothing.
What did you buy me? Nothing.
Nothing.
What did you buy, Steven?
I bought plastic drinking cups, and I bought a box of pencils, and then I bought a special pencil, and I tried on the bra, but I'm a B cup, and they only had A's and C's.
You got about coffee.
Oh yeah, we bought coffee, yep, as well, yep. So, I was so excited. The Dollar Tree, my day has been made.
I was just waiting on that to arrive in money.
So this is the Common Thread. Yeah. So, it's a big store. A great selection. I'm going to do video first, then I'm going to do major shopping.
Nothing big planned today, so it was fun. This is what I have to take. Exactly. Here's the rest of what I know is taking notes.
He just started video first.
Yeah, that's what he normally does, the videos first. Yeah, I know, but I don't know what that first
Your strike is down there.
Good selection of fabric for sure. Now I'm not sure what it is a yard, because of course everything here is going to be in a yard.
So basically, her designs, they just forever. Yeah, more.
Okay, I think now we've seen the embroidery machines they sell Janome. There's my machine right there. Is it expensive? It's $36.99.
Yeah, they're selling for $3,000 in Canada.
Oh,
Canadian dollars.
yeah. That's unusual that it would be that way. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah, I know. I've noticed that with machines here.
Ooh. The MB for its. So, yep, there's a lot of stuff here. So it's time to do shopping. Okay, so we were there for New Year's Eve, of course. So we went out and got a few bottles of champagne that we shared with everybody. Some people went to bed before midnight, tired out. I mean, I could have too, because I was really getting a little tired too as well, because we were up early each day and we're working all the time.
Yeah,
through.
I was up early each day too.
Yeah, which was amazing. Kept asking what that big orange thing was in the sky. I had to.
I actually saw the sunrise one day.
Ooh, yeah. So that was something. So New Year's Eve, we had some. Stephanie had sort of a little munchie plate out, but we basically had. Was that the night we had the lasagna?
No. The night before we had lasagna, but there were leftovers from other nights, so a lot of people were eating leftovers and things like that because
there were a lot
the
of
next
leftovers.
day we were leaving, and so people were eating up food that was leftover kind of
leftover. So yeah, we had a nice New Year's Eve. Stephanie fired up the fire pit outside, and she had this stuff I'd never heard of it before called mermaid flame. And apparently it's a little packet of some kind of things that when they hit the fire, when they light up, they create all these wonderful colors in the flames. It was a little slow going at the beginning because I think they'd had some rain before we got down there and the wood outside got a little soaked. And so it had to kind of dry out. But once it took, it was very, very pretty. And I do have a clip of that as well that I'll insert here in a moment.
Oh, are you showing this stuff down here yet?
No,
oh, okay.
I already showed that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, fine.
All right.
Now you just get me all confused. Stop it. So yeah, New Year's Eve we worked on our projects and everything and just laughed a lot. The more champagne we drank, the more we laughed.
Yeah, well, it was a little cool that night for being out, so not everybody went outside for it. If it was a warmer night, I could see more people being outside.
Yeah.
So
I think last year I think they may have done some s'mores out there, but it was chilly. It was really chilly. So yeah, I think people were more interested in looking at the fire from inside, out through the windows at the back than anything else. So it was fun. It was a nice way to spend New Year's Eve with it all. And so I will insert right here a quick little clip showing you what I meant about the mermaid fire. Maybe this is something you know about. First time for me about that. So I'll insert that right here. Now, is this where we all dance around the fire and chant?
And go,
Quilters, quilters, quilters. Ooh, there's a little purple in there too, a little blue.
It is a really pretty blue.
it's kind of
It is. It did more last year though. I wonder if these are older packets or something. Yeah. You remember that? Like, was,
it
like,
was amazing.
It was blue and turquoise and purple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of colors.
I felt right at home.
Look at it's the Energizer Bunny.
keeps going and going.
Keeps going and going.
It's pretty.
It's so pretty. Okay, so we did do, because we had 5 creators, and we all have lives at various times during the week. So we decided to do, in our regular time slot, a live with all of us in it on each of our channels at the time when we usually do our live. So we started with Russ's live, his 11's, as he calls it, on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. And in that one, I think we talked about, in general, the retreat and everything. And what we were up to. Then in the afternoon at around 5 p.m., we had Stephanie's live. And on that one, we showed what we were working on, right?
No, I think
did we
that
show-
was on Shannon's.
Oh, okay. So we showed the
We
showed
talked that we were going to show the
We showed
what
the
we were
fabrics.
working on Steven's channel, but then we changed that to Shannon's. So
yeah, okay. So on Stephanie's, then we showed our hauls,
yeah,
what we'd all bought at the store, at the quilt store. Then the next day at 11 was Shannon's brunch live, and on that one we showed what we were working on and our progress to that point in time. And then on our live, we did a recap basically of everything that we'd been doing, how we felt about the retreat and everything like that. So links to all those lives, if you haven't seen them yet, the rebroadcast are in the show notes below, so you can check them out. So as we said, yes, we are going back next year. We've already put our deposit down. It is a bit of a ways to go for something like this, for a retreat. But on the other hand, it's...
once we got there, I kind of forgot about the drive.
Yeah.
So,
And
the drive back wasn't as bad, I don't think.
No, it actually didn't feel quite as amazed because of the anticipation of getting there and coming home. We knew we were coming back home. Now, you may wonder, did we get stopped at the border with all our loot? I was concerned because we are allowed, what, $800 Canadian? After you've been gone for a week or more into the States. I had more than that in Canadian dollars. I had all my receipts at hand, and I figured, well, what would happen is if I'd gone over and they questioned me and said, yeah, you've gone over by this amount, I would have had to pay the duty, which is basically 13% on the difference with that. We're allowed a couple of bottles of wine. We had 2 bottles of champagne left over, and so that was fine. Walter had under, so he didn't have to worry. But one thing that happened, okay, we get to the border.
Oh, we had a disaster at the border.
Well, yeah, it could have been a disaster. Yeah, I did a Lucy move. I decided to take our passports out and put them in the glove compartment, ready to go as soon as we got up to the customs officer, right? In the car. I had them in the glove compartment, but they were sitting on top of a couple of folders as well. When, unbeknownst to me, when I shut the glove compartment up, after I put those in there, they slid behind the glove compartment. You know, when the glove compartment comes up like a scoop, there was enough of a gap, they slid down in behind and did not drop out on the floor of the car. They were inside the dashboard.
And we didn't find that out until we had just paid the toll to cross the bridge, the Ambassador Bridge. And just after I crossed the bridge there, Steve realized that the passports had fallen in behind.
And I was panicking because I could not figure out how to get the glove compartment, the door on it. Like, there is a way to remove it, to get in behind.
The glove compartment, and it didn't work the way my old car did. My old car, you just squeeze the sides and it would come out. But I didn't know this is a new car. I have never done that, so I didn't know how it was come out. And I knew in the back of my mind I had looked at that, and there was a trick to it, but I couldn't remember what the trick was.
And
so when
I was panicking,
and I'm in the driver's seat, and I pulled over as far as I could
on the bridge,
just
at the beginning of the bridge,
to get away from the traffic. But I was basically hanging out into I was half on this little side of the road. But half of it was hanging into the lane.
So people had to sort of swerve around us, and they weren't too pleased about that. And that made it even worse. So I'm thinking, I can't get them out. What are we going to do? So there's about this much of a gap between the door and the top of the dashboard at the back of it. I got my hand in there. I was able to bend it back. It's very rubbery plastic without breaking it, amazingly. And thank God I have small hands, because I got my hand down inside of it. I could feel them. I grabbed them and I got them out. Now, I did. Okay, there's my boo-boo. My boo-boo from that. But yeah, Lucy move. It
I mean, worst
figures.
comes to worst, I was thinking, well, what we'll do is we'll pull up at the border and tell the officer that this happened, right? And they would have probably made me drive into where they do car checks and stuff like that. And then I'm sure the border people know how to get those things open. So
Yeah, they might, but they might also know how to get them open like this. Go, rah. And actually, I was ratcheting on it pretty good. But we did have the manual. Afterwards, I looked through the manual, and we have now figured out, if that ever happens again, how to do this. But at that point in time, we didn't know. So yeah, that was a bit of a panic situation. But when we got up to the customs guy, we were through within about 30 seconds.
yeah.
He just said, "Where are you coming from?" Did he ask how long we'd been? I don't know. He never asked even where we were coming from, did he?
No, he asked how long we've been out of the country. 8 days.
Yeah.
You didn't ask where we've been.
He asked us
He
how
asked
much.
how many guns we had. He asked if we had any guns.
No, this is Canada.
He asked how much we had. We had anything to declare, and I said he had $600 worth of stuff. I had $400 worth of stuff, which is not entirely true.
Not really.
And 2 bottles of wine. And he said, "That's fine. Go
Okay,
ahead.
welcome home.
Welcome home."
Bye-bye. So, yes, thank you, officer. And off we went. And we, on the last day coming back, we stopped at Lexington again on our way back from the retreat and stayed in the same hotel, stayed overnight. Stephanie met us there too, because that's what she was doing on her way home. We went out to a place, had some dinner, it was called Drake's or something. I don't know if they were a chain.
It was basically a burger joint. It was basically a fancy burger joint. So
yeah, fancy burger joint, because those burgers were fancy price.
yeah.
Although not, we have places in Canada too where it's going to cost you $20 for a burger. So they were good. I'll say that. And anyways, then the next day off we went. Now, on the way, we already mentioned that we missed the turn for where we should be going. So we basically drove.
Yeah, when we left
an
Lexington, I made a wrong turn. I thought I was going the right way, and somehow, like, it branched off, I think, from the 75 to the 75 and the 64.
No, it came off of the 64 or something onto
64
75.
and 75, and then you're supposed to go a little ways on 64, 75, and then it branches off to 65. Well, I kept on to 64. And then we were going west instead of north.
Yeah, whatever.
And we went about 50 kilometers out of our way before we realized.
So then
we were going west instead of going north.
Yeah, we got turned around.
So we had to backtrack to get back to Lexington to go north. So
we've seen more of that
went
part of
about
the country
100
than we thought
kilometers out of our way. So
yeah. But anyways, we got it. But we did not stop in Windsor on the way home. Walter said he wasn't that tired.
Well, after the passport incident, and once we crossed the border, I got my second wind.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm still awake. It was only like around 3:00 in the afternoon. And I said, let's keep going. Let's see how far I can get.
Yeah.
So
we got home.
I was getting a little tired towards the end, but it was we still had about 170 kilometers. I was tired, but I was alert. I was tired of watching the road.
Mm-hmm.
But we made it all the way home.
So that was, in total time from Lexington to home, was about 12 hours.
Yeah.
We had a little stop on the way.
We stopped at a rest stop just to stretch at one point. Then I had to stop and get gas because I drove 100 kilometers out of my way. And and so I had to stop and get some gas. And then that was still in the U.S. And then we drove all the way home on that gas tank. So
yeah. So that was our big adventure, and overall we had a really good time, and that's why we're going to do it again next year. So I don't know, this might become a habit, going to Georgia for Christmas, kind of a deal.
It is for 2 years anyway. So.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was our adventure. This is a long video, I know, because with the video clips that I have in here as well, yeah, this one's a little longer than we usually make for So Chatty. But anyways, you can watch us while you're sewing, That's always good. Keep you company. And tune in for the live on Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Because we'll be revisiting some things that we talked about a little bit today about the retreat, but we're going to focus on some of the things that were like the abundance of chicken fast food and how we felt about that. And Walmart, is it really that different from Canada? And a few other things we're going to talk about there, a little different than what we have discussed here. So we'll see you then. Okay, so hope you enjoyed our little recap of the whole retreat adventure, and we'll see you next week for something new. Okay, so have a good week. Talk to you all later. Bye for now.
Bye for now.